The FOG program impacts so much within the city infrastructure. It impacts the lateral lines coming from residentials. It impacts the main lines throughout the city. It also impacts the sewer treatment plants. What we want to do is eliminate as much fats, oils, and grease entering the sanitary sewer system and the wastewater treatment plants, therefore eliminating as much as possible from entering into the environment. My specific job will have to deal with FOG, fats, oils, and grease. I deal with the commercial industries as far as restaurants. I also deal with educating the citizens of Shawnee on some of the BMPs, or best management practices, for how to treat FOG. BMPs are the best management practices. It's a program that was developed to limit the amount of fats, oils, and grease being introduced into the sanitary sewer system. When we're talking about BMPs, we're talking about the same things that a person can use in his residence as well as what he's going to use in a restaurant if he works in a restaurant or food processing or manufacturing warehouse. Best management practices in your residential areas will include scraping your leftover food and food waste into a trash can. Do not scrape your leftover food and food waste into a garbage disposal. Those shreds will end up in your septic line somewhere down your lateral line. Next step would be going and dumping whatever grease you have into a safe container, letting it cool, and throwing it in the trash. The next step you would do after that is to dry wipe the pan or the pot or whatever utensil you used, and then place it into the sink or the dishwasher for cleaning. Lateral lines, where the lines that connect to the city lines, can become clogged with fats, oils, and grease. The fat and the oil is actually lighter than the water, so it floats to the top of the water, and as it runs through the lateral line, it collects on the top of the pipe and on the sides of the pipe. After time, it builds up, and that's when we have our blockages and we have our backups. And if we have backups in our lateral line, because it's the same thing as your sewage line, you're going to have a backup inside the house. As a resident, it'll be your responsibility to make sure that you aren't contributing to fats, oils, and grease into the system. Following the BMPs, making sure that the proper procedures are maintained, making sure your household is following the same procedures that we outline in BMPs. We have flyers, the commercials, we'll have these out for you. If you have any questions, you can contact me at 878-1662. The Shawnee Municipal Authority is trying to limit the amount of SSOs being caused by sewer backups and fats, oils, and grease. Fats, oils, and grease that cause backups and sanitary system overflows will expel raw sewage onto the ground, in the streets, in the parks, in the rivers, and in the lakes. So as a community, it is our responsibility to make sure that we limit the amount of fats, oils, and grease into the main lines so that we are trying to eliminate the amount of SSOs. FSEs, food service establishments, will include anything from schools, hospitals, restaurants, nursing homes, any place that actually makes food available for consumption. We want to ensure they're doing the right thing, making sure they're cleaning their grease traps out on a regular basis, make sure they're following all the regulations that will be provided. We currently do not have a permit in place for the FOG program, Fats, Oils, and Grease program. We are currently working on it. Hopefully by the middle of next year, we'll have that put in place. It's nothing more than a program that we want to put in place to ensure that everybody's doing their part, doing their job to maintain their grease interceptors, grease traps. We want to educate the residential areas as much as possible, so they're helping to contribute, so everybody in the community is working together to make it a better environment for us all.